All right, we are over here with some legends of off-roading.
I don't know about that.
We got Matt and Kara from Ozark Overland Adventures. For people who don't know about your channel, how would you describe it?
It's all off-roading, overlanding, camping. We do adventure videos every Friday, and then used to be every Tuesday, but now whenever I want to, Tuesdays, some sort of gear review, tutorial, how, install video, how to. So we say our channel is for inspiration and education. So the Tuesdays are more the educational videos, and there you go. And the Friday videos are the inspiration. And I work in a lot of educational stuff in that too. So.
And you're full-time now doing this?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Been doing this full-time for 3 years now.
What's your favorite part of it?
Seeing the places that we haven't seen, getting out in there, and there's just so much in the U.S. I can't even think internationally because there's so much in the U.S. to see. And so the traveling and the challenges, I'm more of the rock crawler of our family. And so I like the challenge.
Well, we couldn't get him to do the Barbie race yet.
No, we tried. And
I'm really glad I didn't after I saw the crashes.
Now, sometimes you guys go together. Sometimes you go solo. How is it different when you're by yourself versus when you're together?
I think that's different for who you ask. If you go solo, it's different probably for you than it is for me. So
Probably because I'm filming all my solo stuff.
I am. He's making me now, but yeah.
Yeah. When it's just the two of us, there's not a lot of difference in how I travel solo or how we travel when we're together. I will take more risks when we're together because we have two Jeeps. We have, I've got someone outside the Jeep that can spot, or vice versa. So I'm a little more, I think we're both a little more daring when we're together, and we probably push each other farther than we should sometimes.
I know that.
But because we both love the technical trails. We both love, just really pushing the rigs and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that when we're solo. Because at the day I want to be able to get home
Makes
or at
sense.
the end of the trip. So I think that's the biggest thing. When I'm out solo, it's definitely my focus is on scenic, beautiful places. And when we're out together, I think we tend to push ourselves a little more.
And I like going to like the historical, the national parks, national monuments, and that kind of thing. So whenever I'm out solo, I'm usually making a point to go and see those places. And he goes away from people, and some of those have more people. And so, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm out solo, I'm getting into as far remote places as I can.
Who's the planner?
Probably more so me whenever it comes to like trip planning, but he's more of like trail planning.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Yeah, you said you like the technical stuff. You more like the scenic overlanding type stuff.
I like it all. I really do. I like it all. I just love seeing new places. It's my biggest thing. And whether there's technical obstacles along the way or just beautiful scenic drives, I don't care. I just love seeing new places.
How'd you get started in it?
I've always had a love for the outdoors. Always loved hiking and photography. And that combination prompted me to buy my first Jeep back in 2012. Because my sensible four-door family car couldn't get me to some of the hiking trailheads that I wanted to get to. So when the four-door Jeeps came out and was an awesome family car, I
don't know about awesome.
For a family car, it's pretty. But that's what prompted me to get a Jeep, was to be able to get to more hiking. And then from there, I just fell in love with exploring in the Jeep and seeing places that most people don't see because they don't venture off the pavement anymore.
How did that transition into doing YouTube?
I would record videos just to be able to share with family and friends. At that point, Facebook had a limit on how big of a video you could upload to Facebook, and so YouTube became where I would upload videos to, and then I would share them with Facebook. And so I've always loved making little videos and stuff, and so it just kind of all melded together, and then people started watching them, and then the channel grew, and I didn't really think much about it.
And then we
So-
decided to make something
Yeah,
about it.
and then once the channel started getting to the point of that magic monetized 1,000 subscriber number, she and I had decided that when our kids, which is now this time next year, graduate and go to college, we want to travel full time. And so I thought, okay, that was now 4 years ago. So that was a 5-year plan to really make some effort into the channel so that the channel can sustain us traveling full time. And the growth happened much faster than I thought, and I was able to quit my day job much sooner than I expected to. And now we're just making the most of it when we can get
Now
out.
we're just waiting for the kids to
Now
graduate.
we're just waiting for the kids to graduate.
Was there a point that you went, wow, we're now successful at this?
Oh yeah, every day. Every day.
It was being able to quit my day job was huge. That was a big deal.
How long ago was that?
That was
Right
August
after COVID.
2021.
Yeah.
So it's been 3 years now that this has been my full-time job.
And I actually picked up another couple jobs.
Yeah,
And
she was
I
working a couple
so
jobs.
worried.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know.
yeah. I'd had probably 3 or 4 months.
He has more faith than I do, I guess.
I'd had 3 or 4 months where my combination YouTube, YouTube, Patreon, affiliate sales, all that sort of stuff around the YouTube channel was matching or even exceeding my day job revenue. And so having that dual income was really nice for a while. And
Pays for parts.
yeah, it did. Of course, it was during COVID, so we were all working from home. But then in July, my boss said, come August 1st, everybody's coming back to the office.
And you went,
I was
"Oh,
like,
God."
whoa, okay.
That would
So
make our
I've
channel
invested
the
all
best.
this time,
Yeah.
and I can either go back to the office and play it safe, or I can quit my day job and go all in on what, us being able to live the dream when the kids graduate and go to college. And so I did. Man, it was the best decision ever made.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was absolutely, and just being able to do that. I never, it's still weird when people ask, what do you do for a living? I'm a YouTuber.
I just say
That's
self-employed because it's just so much weird. Because then it's like sometimes you don't have to sit there and like explain it. So you're like,
Yeah.
we're self-employed, and then they think, oh, you're just
it's
a
weird.
boring business.
Yeah, telling people that you're a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the overlanding and things. What are some tips you would give to people who want to get started overlanding?
Then just get started. I see too many people making, posts in all different Facebook groups and forums and stuff of can't wait till my build is ready. Can't wait till, my vehicle is all decked out. And
Looking for the right,
you're just
perfect thing.
wasting time.
Yeah.
That's time you could be spent out doing what you want to do
and learning
with
what you need.
have. And too many people jump right in and go, they see a Jeep like this and they go, I got to have a rooftop tent. I got to have a rack. I got to have an awning. I got to have all this cool stuff. And you don't. Because we started doing this with just very minimal gear. We have what we have now because we travel so much. And, there's a difference when you are going out for a weekend and you're going out for 3 weeks and the amount of gear that you carry and type of stuff that you do. So don't wait. If you've got a vehicle, if you've got camping gear, ground tent and the Coleman stove and whatever, go.
I would
figure out your needs along the way.
And I would also add, get the education background, like the legal routes, use the right tutorials, the aids, look up how you can go somewhere legally, safely, have the knowledge there too, because you can always learn about things. It's not about needing the things, it's about having the knowledge whenever your vehicle is so much more capable a lot of times than you are. And so learn your vehicle, learn what it does and how it moves, and go to your local state parks. And if you're not comfortable with camping, stay local. And then that way you can always go home if something doesn't work out. But I would have that education piece, so that way you're doing things responsibly.
What was the biggest mistake you made?
Oh gosh. Do we have all day?
Not knowing the rules of the land.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
Just going.
Yeah, just thinking that I could go out and drive on whatever thing I wanted to drive on was the biggest thing. And that's what early on, I would get torn up the most on social media is just making mistakes off-road, that type of stuff.
I didn't make any mistakes because I had all of his to know not to do. So I'm like, I'm good.
Good call. What's the worst thing that's happened when you've been out?
The trailer maybe getting bent. I mean,
we've been really fortunate.
you've not made it out of Pritchett yet.
We've broken parts. Like loving running the technical trails. I have yet to fully conquer Pritchett Canyon in Moab because I've run it twice, and both times I've broken a U joint on the front passenger side on Rocker Knocker. But I mean, now we've gone out and had wheel hubs fail and had to change them in a Walmart parking lot on a trip and that sort of stuff. But we've been really lucky. We've never had any catastrophic failure or anything really bad. We've never had.
And I think it's your mentality towards it too, because like while that sucks and you're having to, but that just makes you shift and like what do you do in those situations, and that makes you apply that knowledge that I was mentioning that you need to have, like that. It's a mind shift, right? Like you don't look at it as something that's just gonna it's a horrible event, or it's something like, I think death or like physical injury is obviously the worst that could happen, and thank God we haven't had
we've
any
never
of that.
had any physical injuries
But
happen on
vehicles, you pay to play, so it's gonna happen. You just need to know what to do.
What's been your favorite trips?
The ones that we didn't expect to do, probably the one we weren't going to film.
My favorite trips are the ones where we don't have an agenda, where we're just out. We've done 2 big trips on this year. One around Expo West, where we took 3 weeks, and we had to. The only goal was in 2 weeks we had to be at Expo West, and then a week after that I had to be home. Other than that, where we went and what we did was completely up to us. We didn't have to, we didn't have an agenda. We got to run this trail and we got to be at this trailhead by this day and that sort of stuff. It's just when we're out with the freedom to explore, and if we see an offshoot trail, like let's go see where that goes. And go, and we don't know exactly where we're camping each night, and sometimes we find amazing places, and sometimes we're like, you know what, this will do, we can sleep here. But we just don't have an agenda, and that's become my favorite trip.
It's really a different mentality of, if you have so many vacation days that you're working with a job full time, that you have to do all these things in these days, and it's a mind shift that whenever you're out there full time, you're just like, okay, we could sit here for 3 days or 3 weeks, if we love it. And so I think that's the funnest part. I would say my favorite trip was probably the one that I took with my best friend last summer. Just me and her, 2 girls, 6 weeks out in, the West. And we stayed in a couple Super 8s and we camped a lot too. But I learned that I was able and capable of doing things without him. And so that gave me the confidence. And so that's probably probably one of my top favorite trips.
Excellent. We do a lot with women drivers, trying to get them out on the trail. So I definitely appreciate when you're out there doing stuff and showing that women can do this. They don't need to be afraid to get behind the wheel and just do it. Yeah.
A lot of times, as a woman, you're a passenger, and everybody's always saying, "Oh, I'm just so scared. I can't handle these shelf roads." It's because you're a passenger and you're looking down at it. But whenever you're behind the wheel, you have that control and you're just looking at the road. So I encourage every woman to get out there and just drive, even if it's local around, because that gives you so much more control that the passenger can be freaking out. Like you don't have a brake over on the passenger, no matter how many times you try to push it. But as a driver, it completely changes everything.
I would agree with that. My wife does 70% of the driving.
Yeah.
Because she won't fly the drone.
Yeah. I drive while he flies sometimes.
Yeah. We get asked a lot, why do we go out in 2 vehicles? Well, we both love driving.
That's fair.
Yeah, we both love driving.
Let's get back to YouTube. So you started the channel, it started taking off. What are some tips for people who want to start creating their own content?
I think the only reason to start a YouTube channel or to do YouTube is just because you love it. No matter what your genre is, if it's woodworking or makeup tutorials or gaming or overlanding or camping or ASMR, no matter what your genre is, do YouTube because you love the whole process. You love whatever your genre is. For us, overlanding camping stuff, you love the filming process. You love the editing process. Because if you don't, then it's going to feel like a job. And if you're like, I want to start a YouTube channel. I hate editing. Well, that's not going to work out. Or I hate
or you
filming.
Can't edit half the way.
But you just love the process. Because if you are starting a YouTube channel thinking, I want to quit my day job, it's going to be a long, hard, painful road.
Or if you're looking for that feedback from like the analytics or the people liking your stuff, and you're always searching for that algorithm, and you're searching, you're eventually going to lose who you are and why you started this. You have to do it, like you said, because you love it. Otherwise, people are so finicky. You can't please everybody, and so you've got to do it for you.
Yeah.
So what is your attitude towards that for yourself? Do you treat it as a business, or do you it's just part of what you do?
I feel like I'm retired. I'm working my butt off. I'm working harder than I ever have in my life, but it's fun work. It's that adage, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. That's where we are right now. I don't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world that I get to do what I do. And I wake up every morning and I'm like, this is really my job.
But it's just really crazy. Work.
I mean, it is definitely work.
It definitely brings in the income. Nothing, some people want to do YouTube just to get free things, right? Nothing is free out here. We are constantly promoting the companies that we work with. We are, making all of the social stuff. We're at events, showing things and like telling people this is why we would purchase this. If it was given to us, some things people want to give us and we don't want them because it's our integrity at the end of the day. And so, but it's still work. It's very much work.
Mm-hmm. And, people do look to YouTubers, for advice, for their, where to spend their money. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we take very seriously. The companies that we partner with, it's because they're companies that we would want to use ourselves, mm-hmm. not just because it's a cool, fancy new thing. So I take that aspect and I take our integrity in that very seriously. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I don't want people in the comments going, I trusted you on this mm-hmm. fridge or this power station and it was crap and I don't want that. That hurts me if that happens. And I've had some, I've had some stuff. I like working with new companies as well mm-hmm. that have a product that I really think is great, but they're a new startup, so they've got their own challenges and stuff like that, and they may not be doing great at like customer service. And so I'll have someone go, I bought this, but I'm having this problem with it, but I can't get anybody to reply to an email. Well, I'll screenshot that and I'll send it to my contact at that company and go, fix this. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not going to have them getting onto me for recommending your product and you're not doing your end of the bargain. So fix this. Fix this for this customer. So I've done that a lot of times.
Being the job, that's the job piece that we would consider that being. But as far as filming and going out and traveling and exploring, that's what we love.
Do you enjoy the packaging part of it? The thumbnails, the descriptions, the titles, having to do that part of it?
Presenting.
To get the stuff out there?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've got that down to where that's like super easy for me now. So that's not really a chore anymore. And that's the part that you learn over time. There's people that may love the filming and they may love the editing and stuff, but they're not comfortable on camera. Well, just practice it. The more you're on camera, my early videos are garbage. I was actually, it's not uncommon for us to, and you see a lot of channels doing this around the holidays. We'll take so we can have time off. We will take, maybe a series that we shot in the summertime, and then come, Thanksgiving, we repackage that into a long form movie. And I forgot where I was going with that. What was the question? I was going with that. What was the question?
Packaging.
Oh, yes. And I was actually going to do that with I created a trail system through the Ozarks called the Ozark Overland Adventure Trail back in 2020, and me and my buddies went and ran it. It's a 5-day trip it's a 5-day route through the Ozark National Forest, and I did that because the Ozarks are very difficult to navigate, and I saw people, fumbling around like I did when I first started because I didn't have some route to get started with, and so I did that to help people get started navigating through the Ozarks. And I went back to piece all the OOAT videos into one long form videos, and I was just watching it and cringing, and I just couldn't do it because it wasn't good.
So, did you feel you were awkward on camera at first?
No, I just didn't.
It just didn't come together.
Yeah, it just just the quality of it wasn't what I like now. I was, just back then filming it with
iPhones.
Bad GoPros and my iPhone. I didn't have any fancy cameras or anything for the quality, and the audio was not good. And so I've just, as I've done it, the more you do something, the more you progress, the more you learn, the more comfortable you get with anything. And so, I see my older stuff and I cringe.
I feel most channels...
It's still out there. I'm not going to take it down, but it's just because it does tell the story, and I love the creative process so much that that part's fun for me.
I feel a lot of channels go through this evolution where they start off and they're like, well, they're successful, I'm going to replicate that. But then over time, they get to a point where they find their voice. They find their style. Did that happen to you?
I never found myself, I would look to channels just for like camera angle ideas. How did they get that shot? And I would kind of dissect that. I always think no matter what, just be you. And so my personality comes through in my videos. I'm not going to mimic Brad's personality or Rob's personality or Sean's personality. And it's cool because we've been on a trip with Brad and Regina. We've been on trips with Sean and Rob, all three of us on the same trip together. We're all making a video. At the end of the day, we're actually sharing footage from one another, from our drone shots and that sort of stuff. But all three of our videos are radically different because we're all telling the story from our perspective. And that's what makes it cool.
A great example of that is Tyler and Caleb. They just did Half Moon Gulch out in Colorado. I did it like 2 weeks after they did. So, and all three videos are going to look completely different. But I look to people like Caleb. I'm like, oh man, that production quality is top notch. His storytelling is off the charts. That research that he does is so in depth. But you can't turn out a weekly video like that.
Right.
It's just too much work.
And I don't enjoy that process of researching and coming up with. I want to go on a trip and make you feel like you're in the passenger seat with me. Is the goal of my videos, and so yeah.
I think there's a space for everybody out there.
Absolutely.
Because some people may be more of a visual, like the narration piece. They want to know the history, right? And then some people may like the drone shots and the cinematic, music that they are playing. So I think that everybody can be relatable to someone else. Just like some people may be an audio learner, some people may be a hands-on learner, that kind of thing. It's all different for everybody. So we don't ever want to imitate others, but we definitely want to look to see as far as their angles and what better maybe camera gear, they may be using. For a while, Matt was all Nikon. And so we ended up going to Sony because that started becoming the better camera. So it's those kind of pieces that you pick up, maybe like places we want to go and see. But again, we don't try to create that video that they made. We want to share it from our perspective because like you said, you just did that trip right after them. And, you may find beauty in something else that they didn't, or something, weather conditions may be different, the time of season may be different, so it may be different for you. And I think that's one of the things about where we go. It can be amazing all different times.
I want to touch on branding a little bit. like our Jeep is very unique. It's that ocean blue. It's got the slant back top. People recognize it from a mile away on a trail. They'll stop and wait for us to catch up and, oh, I saw your Jeep. How do you feel about that type of branding?
Oh, I mean, obviously we've got our logos on our Jeeps and stuff like that. So I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, these are tools for us. And, you know, next week I could decide to trade this in on something else.
A Jeep.
Yeah, it would definitely be a Jeep, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, these are tools, and people know us. I mean, it's just the nature of this genre. People know us from our rigs as much as anything. The hair is definitely a thing.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, that is definitely your brand
Yeah.
there. I mean, it is a distinctive part of your image.
Yeah. Well, and it's just a reflection of my personality. I've done fun things with my hair since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just hair. To me, it's like changing a shirt. You know, you do something, oh, that works great. Or oh, that doesn't look good. And you can cut it and it grows back. And so hair's been, I've just always done fun things with my hair. I went to a Catholic high school for, in Little Rock, and, you know, they had very strict, grooming guidelines and rules and stuff. And I would push that every day just because.
I mean, if you showed up somewhere and you didn't have it colored, you might not be recognized.
Oh, a hat. Usually, yeah.
I'm not doing it here, but when we go to the big Overland expos, you know, Expo West, Expo P&W, Mountain West, those sort of things, Friday and Saturday, because I'm teaching classes on those days too, I'll, you know, have one of our shirts on and, you know, just my normal hairstyle. But on Sunday, I don't wear a branded shirt and I put a hat on, and I'm able to you know, I'm able to go talk to, I'm able to, you know, just walk around and visit, you know, with vendors and stuff like that and check out products without getting stopped as much.
Yeah.
So it is that recognizable.
Oh yeah.
Oh
it
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I love pink. Pink is my favorite color. So pretty much, like, as soon as, that's one of the reasons, you know, with Poppy, we changed the red to the pink, because I was like, well, if this was going to be my vehicle, I would have chose pink. So I'm all about the pink. So yeah, if we have our
Let's
dog.
talk about your rigs for a minute.
Yeah.
What is Sully here?
21 Gladiator Rubicon, 3.5-inch Clayton lift, 38-inch Milestar tires,
Extrusion bedrock.
extrusion bed rack, yeah, Intrepid tent. It's the best Jeep I've ever owned. It's my favorite Jeep I've ever owned, and I love it.
And I'll show you yours.
Yeah,
I'll put some B-roll in it. Tell us about your Jeep.
So this is one of my Jeeps. This is Poppy. It's 23 Gladiator Rubicon as well, because of the transfer case. I have a topper on the back. It's a Explorer elevated topper with an Ironman 4x4 270 awning. I have a 3.5-inch metal cloak Game Changer lift. And then, of course, Milestar, the XT Patagonias. Love it. I also have a Wrangler at home that I'm competing with a rally, so, and also pink. But yeah, I love the Jeep platform. They're Wrangler versus the Gladiator. Wrangler is more, you're able to keep it more light for heavier obstacles. The Gladiator, in my opinion, is the best overland vehicle there is.
Hard to argue that.
Yeah.
Until you see Tyler's. I mean, that thing looks badass.
And he's going to be building it out.
Yeah.
Really cool.
But he's not following me on some of the trails I go on.
Yeah.
There's that. Actually, I want to talk about the tires for a moment. I used to run the Milestars, and you know, they just were done at 20,000 miles. They were bad.
Yep,
So
I had
the first series
several of
were
those.
not good,
I had a
yeah.
couple of those as well.
I then switched to Nitos for the Nito Trail Grapplers for. I put them on. They last 2 years, over 40,000, almost 40,000 miles, but they're so expensive. And I started doing research on like what else should I look at again. I watched your stuff talking about the MTO2s. You do a lot of miles every year, a ton of miles. So I'm like, well,
Sully has 107,000 miles on it in 3 years.
and if Matt's running the MTO2s, maybe I should give those a shot. So I have the 38s.
Okay.
Line right
Do you like them?
So far, I mean, I only have maybe 6,000 miles on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love how they air down.
Yep.
They're nice and soft, and
it's key to that 5-tire rotation and just making sure the air pressure. That's these tires. You treat them well, they'll treat you well.
and they're actually 38, not 37.2.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, the original Patagonia MTs were fantastic tires off road, but they had a horrible reputation that was deserved for wearing very quickly on pavement, very unevenly on pavement, especially if you didn't rotate them very often. And so, but they were fantastic tires off road, especially on rocks. But yeah, with the MT02s, they tweaked the compound. They've added some additional siping and stuff in the tread blocks. They look almost identical to the original MTs, but it's a completely different tire as far as the compound goes.
And you've been happy with them?
I've got 100,000 miles. This is my 4th set of MT02s on this rig. And I have I change out my tires when they hit 50% tread depth on these 9 to 10, 30 seconds of tread depth because I do get in mud a lot and I want good tread depth. And every time I have swapped tires on these, I've been at least 35,000 miles with 50% tread depth.
Wow, that's impressive.
And on her Wrangler, she was at 45,000 miles when we put on the XTs on hers from the MT02s.
Yeah, I wanted the XTs whenever we started, but they weren't available. And so, because MTs, they're known for being loud. And I did not want to hear that because inside the vehicle, in a Jeep especially, it's already really loud. And so I did not want to hear that hum as I was going down the road. And because I do a lot more road, I don't like the mud. Like I said, I'm more of the rocks. And so I wanted the XTs, and I finally got them, and they have not stopped me in anything. And they're great for mileage.
Yeah, they're good tires.
Good to hear.
Really good hybrid all-terrain tire.
So what do you see in the future in terms of plans? Your overlanding trips. What's coming up in the near future, far future? Any big goals you have?
The biggest thing for the rest of this year is Kira's competing in the Rebelle Rally.
Well, I don't know if we caught that on video because we had a battery die, but what did you just get?
I just got the Best Female Rig Award for the Overland of America. That surprised me so much.
Well deserved.
Oh, in perfect timing, we were talking about the Rebelle Rally. So yeah, I think it's incredible that they did this because, like you were saying, there's not that much representation for the females in this land. As much as it's getting louder, I think it's nice to be acknowledged.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you see the future of your channel?
Just
keep doing
more places. Just keep doing what we're doing because that's what we love doing.
Yeah.
And just experiencing as many places as we possibly can.
Anything on the bucket list?
Alaska.
Oh, absolutely.
Alaska. But I don't want to go to Alaska and only have 2 weeks. I want to go to Alaska and take 2-3 months to go up through Canada and then over to Alaska and then really explore the area because I just want to soak it all in. So that's realistically, that may be like a 2026 goal for us is to hit Alaska. We want to go to Baja.
Yeah.
Never been out of Baja.
I want to do some female, I want to film some female trips, just me by myself. This channel is about both of us. And so I want to be able to get that because you don't have a whole lot of overlanding female voices in the creators world. So I think we've heard a lot of people that want to hear more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I absolutely 100% agree. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Any closing comments that you'd like to share with everybody?
Oh gosh, just get out there.
Life's too short to sit at home on the couch.
Yeah, it is. It really is. At the end of the day,
Get off the pavement.
You regret. What is your saying?
Die with memories, not dreams.
Yeah, because
Die with memories, not dreams.
Well, you only get one life. You can make money every day, and at the end of the day, what do you make the memories? Definitely make the memories.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Matt,
With pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks everybody for watching. Stay safe out there.
Bye.
We'll see you on the trails.
Bye.